Hi there. So today I'm gonna explain how to sculpt a dragon. So today we're gonna use the Sculpey. It's a polymer clay, which means that you have to bake it. A great advantage of this is that you can take your time working on it since it won't dry out. You only hardens when you bake it. So what we're gonna start off by doing first is you have to paint your nails. That way you sculpt better. Obviously, that's a smart thing to do. So you grab the clay. Usually you want to knead it out before you want to work it. When it comes out of the box, it's pretty hard. But if you squish it a lot, it becomes squishy. So you grab a chunk, and I already have the armature here. The whole point of this is it'll act like a skeleton, and it'll hold the shape of it. It'll be like a skeletons, and this is flesh. So exactly what it means. So grab a chunk and just plump it on there. So you see here, I have most of it covered, and at this point, just cover it more. And with our thumbs, because they're big and fat and wide, we could start smoothing it all out, getting the basic shape. So I'm going to make a ridge down the middle right here. Make another ridge right here. See how I push the clay to meet in the center, and that will make like a little mountain range kind of ridge. And again with the other side. Okay. And now I'm just checking because I want to hang it on the wall once I'm done with it, so I want to make sure I like how it looks like, because now's the best time to move it around and change it to whatever position you want. Let's start with the head. So I'm going to use my thumbs and squish right where I think the eyeballs should be. Now it looks like a funny little googly-eyed monster. And let's make it kind of look like a dinosaur. If you ever notice on the skulls, they have a little indent right here. So let's do that. And then smooth it out a little bit more with your thumbs. And then here I have my assistant cat, of course, judging me. Let's see, excuse me, cat. So before I started, I baked a bunch of teeth, which is you just grab some clay, roll it up, and throw it in the oven at 250 for a few minutes. And you'll get these. So let's dump some of that out and look for some good teeth we want to use. So this looks like it'd be a good canine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to snap it in half. Or I could just grab scissors. Hopefully it doesn't go flying. And it went flying. Here it is. So what I'm going to do is shove it right in the clay. Oh, and how did I almost forget? It needs a tongue. So what I'm going to do is grab another little bit of clay. Extend it out to like a cone. Squeeze it flat. Then we'll grab the popsicle stick. And we'll do this little slice down the middle just by pushing it like that. We do a few more like that. Let's use the blender edge. And there's the tongue six. Now I'm going to do some of the mouth membranes, which I'll grab another little bit, squish it to like a triangle, And with my thumbs, kind of blend that all in there. That's the return of the cat. Her name's Potato, by the way. And what I'm doing here is I'm applying the lower and upper jaw through the membrane. I could just scratch in some detail like that. And we'll do the same to the other side. Okay, let's grab another little bit of clay and start working a little more on the head. So I'll grab a little thin noodle, like that. And that'll be like the lower eye socket. I guess that's the best way to explain it. Do the same to the other side. And then we'll do a big one on the top. Another big one right here. And then what we're going to do is we'll grab the eyes. So these, just like the teeth, rolled up a little ball. Throw in the oven for a few minutes. And you get these. So you could grab them and squish them right in. And what I'm going to start doing, I'll do the big scales, so shove it in like that. You're just pushing the clay. And you could repeat that kind of pattern to give more of a scaled look. So I'm kind of making like little rectangles. And you see like that how I push it, so this way, it's kind of like a ramp. Push down right here, that way this part sticks up. Do it with the next one, makes it pop out a little more. Ooh, let's make some wrinkles. So what we'll do like that is just push it down. Let's see. For the mouth, let's do some lines like this. Give it some nostrils. I almost forgot. This would be a great spot for the stamp. So what you do is just push it right in there, and there he has little bumps. Let's have a few fun spikes in the lower jaw right here. So I'm gonna make an edge just by squeezing it. And instead of making a rectangle, let's try to blend it in there. And let's do some big scales right here. So we'll do a line and a line. And then you can start worrying about the details later. But the first thing you want to worry about is the basics silhouette, how it looks with like what it looks like when it's far away. Right now it kind of looks like a fun messed up deer. So this is where the scales end and the fleshy parts begin. Now let's worry about the texture now. So with the slidey end, I'm gonna just stroke it. I'm gonna blend in those lumpy parts by just poking it a little more. That's all sculpting is, really, just poking something until it looks good. And then let's work a bit on the wrinkly lower part. And we got a lot of the basic features done so far, so let's work on the horns. So what I'm gonna do is grab another bit of the clay, squish it into a long cone, and let's do a small horn first. We'll have this one in the far back right here. Okay, what to do about the horns? Let's keep it pretty simple. You can do a fun stagger effect, just like we were doing with the scales. But that's going to be a little hard since these are long and thin. It'll be a lot more easy to smudge them. Let me even that out a bit more. What we can do is do long strokes. Pretend like it's a big tooth. So it's going to have a lot of grooves in it. Okay. So now we have the basic shape down. I think it looks pretty good. Of course, you can adjust a few parts if you really want to, but you'll smudge the details. You can spend as much time as you want. You don't have to worry about the clay drying out. And it's just a fun process of thinking, oh, I'm done. And then you'll see a spot that you missed, like right here. No, I think this looks a little plain compared to everything else, so I'm gonna carefully try to do this little V pattern. Trying not to knock out any teeth. And I should have done that from the beginning, but I did not. You could add a few spikes, but grabbing the clay again, like the teeth again, just roll it up into a cone, but this time half of cone, or exactly what cone means, and squish it right in there, just like the horns too. Grab a paintbrush. Dip it right in there and brush it over. So what this is doing, it's slightly dissolving the clay and it's wiping away your fingerprints, smoothing everything out. Now about the baking. So on the box right here, it says, I believe 275 for 15 minutes per half inch. So what I like to do is most ovens are a little unpredictable. If you put it on 275, it might overcook it. So I usually put it at 250 because that's pretty safe. You might find with your oven you might actually have to go over that to get it to harden. But what you'll do is you grab some foil, wrap it around it very loosely like a burrito, or a potato I'd say is better, so it evenly cooks. And then you'll let it heat up. It says preheat the oven sometimes, but I like to throw it in, turn it on, and that way it slowly heats up. And then once it's done for 15 or 30, for this I'd say do at least 20 minutes. Then you'll let it cool down in the oven, because if you take it out too quickly, some parts of it might still be warm and it'll unevenly cool, and it might crack that way. Which in case, you always have super glue. You can glue them right back on if they fall off, which is a great thing about this clay. But usually you want to avoid that. At least I'd recommend to avoid that. But I'm going to call this done for now. I may come back in a week or a few days and poke at it in the way I want. But I'm pretty happy with this so far. I hope you could follow along, and if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. And thank you for watching. Cool, I'm live. So I'm going to start off with the red. And the most professional way to do this is pour it right on. Okay, that seems like enough. Wet brush. And this is just a base coat, so I want to cover everything. Let's throw on some blue. And I'm gonna water that down, and this will be like a black wash, which is basically just get into all the corners. Well, since it's wet, I'm basically just tinting it all purple. Now I'm gonna do the fun thing of just hair drying it. I can't find the pink, so I'm gonna make the pink. Let's drop some red down here. I'm gonna squirt out some white. That's nice pink I like, so I'm gonna start dry brushing it all over the mouth. And I'll have some white right here. Wipe off most of it. Let's see, let's mix in some blue. That way we got a nice light purple. And with that, I'm going to slowly... Oh, that was way too much. Grab the rag. Kind of fucked it all up, but that's okay. Let's have the neck be blue. And then I'm gonna grab some white, lighter blue. Wipe off most of that. And it looks like the paint's too wet, so I'm gonna wait for it to dry a little more. Let me dry off the brush a bit. Let me grab that very light blue again. Wipe off most of it. Let's do a little bit more of that purple too. Okay, I like that. And let's see. If I add some yellow to this purple, I can make a very weird brown. Now I'm going to throw more white. I'm going to add some yellow to those teeth. See, I'm going to make this very wet and dark. Then I could do another coating of the dry brush to pick up the details again, but I think I like it this messy. So I'm going to finish it off by painting the eyes. And I think I like the base pretty messy like that, so I'm gonna call it done.